The HOA tyrant and the stolen yacht. Not everyone buys into the idea of karma, but after what went down in my neighborhood, you might want to reconsider. When the HOA tyrant, who thought she owned the rule book, swiped my $78,000 yacht and claimed it was community property, I didn't just sit back. I played the long game, and within 48 hours, an FBI tactical team was tearing through her mansion. Stick with me, because this story's a wild ride. If you're tuning in from California, where HOA queens seem to multiply like roaches, drop a comment below. I'm Ethan Carter, a 40-year-old software engineer working remotely for a tech giant in Seattle. After a messy divorce 4 years ago, I craved a quieter life, so I bought a stunning waterfront home in Crescent Cove, a gated community in San Diego, California, in the summer of 2024. The house was a dream: 4 bedrooms, a sprawling lawn, and a private dock perfect for the 26-foot yacht I'd always wanted. I splurged $78,000 on a sleek, silver Monterey with red accents, a hefty chunk of my savings, but worth every cent for the serenity it brought. For the first few weeks, life was paradise. I coded from my home office during the week and spent weekends cruising the bay, fishing, or reading with a cold drink in hand. The California sun was a welcome change from Seattle's drizzle. My neighbors seemed decent, mostly retirees or professionals who kept to themselves. I was settling in, thinking I'd nailed the fresh start thing, when my peace got obliterated by a sharp knock on my door one Saturday morning in August. That's when I met Evelyn Harper, the 57-year-old HOA president, known behind her back as the neighborhood dictator. Evelyn was a widowed paralegal with a fake smile and 2 noisy chihuahuas, living 4 houses down. She stood on my porch, her brunette hair perfectly styled, clutching a tablet, her designer glasses glinting in the sun. Her welcome visit was a thinly veiled inspection. She pointed out that my mailbox was navy instead of the approved midnight blue, citing Section 7.2 of the HOA bylaws with a smirk that screamed trouble. Before I could respond, she was strutting back to her BMW, promising a violation notice. I stood there, coffee in hand, wondering what I'd walked into. That was just the beginning. Violation notices started piling up like junk mail. My lawn was 2.3 inches tall, limit was 2. My trash cans were out an hour early, my window blinds were non-compliant. It was relentless. I tried to play nice, even invited her over for a chat to smooth things over. Mistake. She spent the whole time sniffing out more infractions, leaving with a glint in her eye that made my skin crawl. Crescent Cove thrives on order, Mr. Carter, she said, pausing at my door. Some newcomers think they can bend the rules, but that's not how we operate. The threat was clear: toe the line or pay. I tried to ignore her, focusing on my yacht and new routine. I got to know my neighbor, Jack Sullivan, a retired firefighter in his late 60s with a no-nonsense vibe and a love for craft beer. Evelyn's been terrorizing this place since her husband passed 6 years ago, Jack told me over drinks on his deck. She's got a chip on her shoulder and too much time. Things came to a head at the HOA's monthly meeting in September, held in a stuffy community center that smelled like old carpet. I went to get a feel for the place, but Evelyn had other plans. She proposed a new rule: no yachts could stay docked at private residences for over 24 hours. It was aimed straight at May, was the only one with a new yacht. I stood up, heart pounding, and argued that private docks were part of our property rights, backed by the community's founding charter. Jack chimed in, calling it a power grab. The room buzzed with murmurs, and the vote went 8-5 against Evelyn. Her face twitched with rage, but she plastered on a smile. As the meeting broke up, I caught her whispering to her lackey, Lisa Bennett, the HOA treasurer. "We'll handle this another way," she hissed, her eyes locking onto me with venom. The next morning, I stepped onto my deck, expecting to see my yacht's silver hull gleaming in the sunrise. Instead, the dock was empty, the water lapping lazily at the posts. My $78,000 pride and joy was gone. I checked the ropes still tied, no signs of tampering. Panic hit hard. I called the police, pacing the dock like a caged animal. Officer Emily Torres arrived, calm and professional, taking notes as I rambled about the yacht's details. Then Evelyn sauntered up, waving a stack of papers like a weapon. "No crime here, officer," she said, handing over a document. The yacht was impounded for violating Regulation 39C, passed in an emergency HOA session last night. It bans vessels over 22 feet at private docks. She smirked, claiming the yacht was now at the community marina, and the HOA had the right to seize it. Officer Torres skimmed the papers, looking uneasy. This is a civil matter, Mr. Carter. You'll need a lawyer. She left, and I was alone with Evelyn, who admitted to faking the meeting minutes to push the rule through with her cronies. Your yacht's community property now, she said, inspecting her nails. We'll use it for the board's retreat. Sue me if you want, but I've been in law for 35 years. You'll lose. She walked off, leaving me furious but helpless. I called Jack, who was livid but not shocked. She's pulled stunts before, but this is next level, he said. I drove to the marina and saw Evelyn showing off my yacht to her board, acting like she'd bought it. I wanted to scream, but Lisa, the treasurer, pulled me aside, whispering, "She does this to anyone who challenges her. I can't stop her, I need this job." Her fear was palpable, and it hit me. Evelyn was untouchable, ruling Crescent Cove like a mob boss. Then, fate tossed me a bone. Checking my mailbox, I found an IRS letter meant for Evelyn, mistakenly delivered. It was an audit notice, flagging $250,000 in unexplained deposits. My coder brain kicked in. It wasn't just about my yacht. Evelyn was hiding something big. I photocopied the letter, resealed it, and planned to deliver it later. I teamed up with Jack and an old college buddy, Noah Kim, a forensic accountant in San Diego. Noah dug into Evelyn's finances, while Jack tapped his firefighter contacts for dirt. We found Evelyn had been drowning in debt after her husband's death, nearly losing her house. But 3 years ago, her fortunes flipped. She paid off a $400,000 mortgage, bought a Tesla, and started flaunting luxury trips on Instagram. The timing lined up with her HOA presidency. I reached out to Evelyn's son, Nathan, a graphic designer in Chicago, posing as a property investor. He was cagey, but let slip that his mom's sudden wealth was odd, hinting her late husband's consulting business might have been shady, dealing with exotic imports from Central America. Noah and I got access to HOA records through Lisa, who was terrified but cooperative. The books were a mess, hundreds of thousands funneled to fake companies like Cove Maintenance Group for non-existent services. Evelyn was embezzling HOA funds and selling seized resident property, including my yacht, which she'd listed for $110,000 through a shady broker. We tracked down former residents who'd fled after Evelyn targeted them, losing cars, jewelry, even a rare guitar. The pattern was clear: cross Evelyn, lose something valuable, then get bullied into leaving. Jack found a bombshell in his old files. Evelyn's husband was linked to an FBI case on artifact smuggling. Her name had popped up, but the case went cold. This wasn't just HOA corruption. Evelyn might be tied to international crime. We took our findings to FBI agent Marcus Lee, who worked white-collar cases. He was intrigued but needed hard proof. If she's linked to Javier Morales, a smuggler we've been after, this could be huge, he said. I set a trap, asking my friend Caleb Reed in Los Angeles to pose as a cash buyer for my yacht, offering $120,000 off the books. I'd hidden 2 GPS trackers on the yacht, one obvious, one buried in the wiring. Caleb met Evelyn at the marina, wired up with a mic. She bragged about stealing from uppity newcomers and name-dropped Morales as her disposal guy for boats, cars, and special art. She mentioned a Dutch masterpiece her husband had acquired, worth millions. I sent the recording to Agent Lee, who confirmed the painting was a stolen Vermeer, missing for a decade. Evelyn upped her attacks, cutting my power, slashing my tires, and filing fake liens. She found out I was digging when Lisa slipped up. At an emergency HOA meeting, she accused me of sabotaging the community, but Jack and Lisa turned the tables. Lisa confessed everything: Evelyn's thefts, fake companies, all of it. Neighbors gasped. Evelyn's lawyer buddy, Greg Palmer, demanded $120,000 for defamation. The room turned on her, but she doubled down, vandalizing my property and trying to sell my house with forged papers. Time was running out. Evelyn planned to move my yacht to Los Angeles that night. Agent Lee's team was 24 hours from a raid, tracking Morales, who'd gone dark. I couldn't wait. As a tech guy, I'd built a remote system for my yacht: lights, alarms, even door locks, all controllable via a custom app. From Jack's truck, parked on a bluff overlooking the bay, we watched Evelyn's goon pilot my yacht to a hidden cove where Morales waited by a van. Evelyn arrived with a wrapped package of Vermeer. I opened my laptop and triggered the yacht's alarm, a deafening wail with flashing lights. Evelyn's guy panicked, fumbling with the controls. Morales, thinking it was a bust, sped off straight into an FBI roadblock. Agents swarmed, finding the Vermeer, sale papers, and a cache of stolen artifacts worth $40 million. Evelyn tried to flee, but I locked her Tesla remotely. Her face, lit by tactical flashlights as agents cuffed her, was pure defeat. They found a hard drive in her bag with years of fraud records and $60,000 cash Morales' deposit. Greg was nabbed shredding files, later flipping on Evelyn for a deal. Evelyn got 15 years for fraud, laundering, and trafficking. Morales was extradited to Europe. My yacht came back, though I spent a day silencing the alarms. Jack took over the HOA, scrapping Evelyn's rules and adding oversight. Lisa became secretary, pushing transparency. I set up a community security system, earning me local fame and tech job offers. 6 months later, in January 2025, I was out on my yacht, the bay calm under a pink sunset. A new neighbor, Olivia Grant, a coastal ecologist, paddled up in a kayak, offering a beer and a smile. We hit it off, spending weekends on the water. Evelyn's assets were seized, compensating victims, including ex-residents she'd driven out. Agent Lee emailed Vermeer led to a busted smuggling ring, recovering $50 million in art. A Dutch museum sent me a thank you note. Then came a letter from Evelyn in prison, with keys to a secret condo in Malibu. She apologized, blaming her spiral on grief and greed. I gave the keys to Nathan, her son, who said, she wasn't always a monster. Losing Dad broke her. It was a reminder, even villains have their scars. So that's my tale. Karma's patient, but it hits hard, sometimes with an FBI assist. I'm back to peaceful cruises, often with Olivia, proving life's sweeter when justice prevails. Now, I want to hear from you. Was I wrong to open Evelyn's mail, even if it exposed her crimes? Should I have confronted her directly instead of setting a trap? And what would you do if an HOA bully came for your prized possession? Drop your thoughts below, hit like, and subscribe for more real-life drama. Let's keep the conversation going.